I'm 19 years old, and until a few months ago, I thought I had my college life pretty much figured out. My parents were covering most of my tuition and housing, not all of it, but enough that I didn't have to worry about working full-time or drowning in student loans. The catch? They insisted I keep this tracking app called Life 360 on my phone at all times. Every single moment of my day, they could see exactly where I was. It felt invasive, honestly, like having a leash around my neck, but I told myself it was a fair trade. They were paying, so I had to play by their rules. That's just how it works, right? Everything changed over winter break. I had decided to switch my major from biology to nursing, and I was actually excited about it. I'd been struggling with bio. The coursework felt abstract and disconnected from what I really wanted to do with my life. Nursing felt different. I could picture myself actually helping people, being there for them during the scariest moments of their lives. It made sense to me in a way that lab work and research never did. So I told my parents during dinner one night, thinking they'd at least try to understand. My dad lost it. I mean, completely lost it. He stood up from the table and started yelling about how I was throwing away my future, how nursing was beneath me, how I'd never make real money or have any respect. He kept saying I was wasting his investment in me. My mom just sat there, quiet, which somehow felt worse. I tried to explain that this was my life, my decision, but he wouldn't hear it. The conversation ended with him storming out and me sitting there feeling like the biggest disappointment in the world. A week later, I got an email from the financial aid office. My parents had withdrawn their contribution for the spring semester. Just like that. No warning, no conversation, nothing. I was suddenly on my own financially. I had to scramble to take out student loans, apply for every scholarship I could find, and pick up not one but 2 jobs just to cover my rent and tuition. Some nights I was working until midnight, then getting up at 6 for an 8 a.m. class. My grades started slipping. I was exhausted all the time, but I didn't have a choice. This was the price of choosing my own path. The tracking app? I honestly forgot about it. I was so busy trying to survive that it slipped my mind completely. Until last weekend, when my roommate suggested we take a spontaneous road trip to visit her cousin in another state. It was only a few hours away, and I desperately needed a break. So we piled into her car on Friday afternoon and drove. It felt like freedom, like I could finally breathe for the first time in months. We were grabbing dinner at this little diner when my phone started blowing up. Text after text from my mom. "Where are you? Why are you out of state? This is unacceptable. Call me immediately." I stared at my phone, confused at first. How did she even know where I was? Then it hit me. Life 360. The app was still running in the background, broadcasting my every move. Before we continue, if you're invested in how this turns out, show some love with a like and subscribe. I opened the app and just stared at it for a second. This little icon that represented everything I'd been trying to escape. My parents weren't paying for anything anymore. They'd cut me off financially, but still expected to control my life. It felt so unfair, so completely one-sided. So I deleted it, just tapped the icon, hit delete, and watched it disappear from my screen. The phone calls started immediately. First my mom, then my dad, then my mom again. I finally answered when we got back to the car. My mom was frantic, asking if I was okay, if I'd been kidnapped, if I was in danger. I told her I was fine, that I was just on a road trip with my roommate. Then my dad got on the line, and the tone shifted completely. He started demanding to know why I deleted the app, saying it was for my own safety, that anything could happen to me. I took a deep breath and told him the truth. I said I was paying for my own life now, every single expense, and I valued my privacy. I didn't feel comfortable being tracked anymore. He went silent for a moment. Then he said I was being selfish and ungrateful, that after everything they'd done for me, this was how I repaid them. My mom was crying in the background, saying she thought I was trying to cut them out of my life completely. I tried to explain that wanting privacy wasn't the same as cutting them off, that I still loved them, but they wouldn't listen. The final blow came a few days later. My mom texted me and said if I didn't reinstall the app and turn tracking back on, I wasn't welcome at Thanksgiving this year. Thanksgiving has always been a huge deal in our family. My grandparents come, my aunts and uncles, everyone. The idea of being excluded from that, of sitting alone in my apartment while my whole family gathered without me, made my stomach hurt. But here's the thing, I'm not a child anymore. I'm paying my own way through school. I'm working 2 jobs and barely sleeping and somehow keeping my head above water. I chose a career path that actually means something to me, even though it cost me their financial support. And now they want me to give up the one thing I have left, my independence, just so they can keep tabs on me. It feels like they're trying to punish me for growing up, for making my own choices. Part of me wonders if I'm being unreasonable. Maybe they really are just worried about my safety. Maybe I should just reinstall the app and keep the peace. But another part of me knows that if I give in now, it'll never stop. They'll always find another way to control me, another condition I have to meet to earn their approval. And I'm so tired of living my life for someone else. So I told them no. I said I loved them and I hoped they'd change their minds about Thanksgiving, but I wasn't reinstalling the app. The silence on the other end of the line was deafening. My mom hung up without saying goodbye. It's been a week now and we haven't spoken. I keep checking my phone, hoping for a text saying they've reconsidered, but there's nothing. Meanwhile, my friends tell me I did the right thing, that I deserve privacy and autonomy. But it doesn't make the guilt go away. It doesn't make me miss my family any less. I don't know what Thanksgiving is going to look like this year. Maybe I'll be alone. Maybe that's the price of standing up for myself. But I also know that I can't go back to being tracked like a criminal just because my parents can't accept that I'm an adult now. I chose this path, and I'm going to see it through, even if it costs me more than I ever imagined. Thanks for watching. If you want more stories like this, like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the drama.